What if some of the most reliable crops you'll ever grow are hiding right now in your kitchen trash bin, waiting to sprout into full, living harvests? What if every grocery run ends not in waste, but in a quiet, regenerative loop, where roots, stubs, and discarded stems turn into gardens of abundance? In a world where food feels increasingly fragile and ever more expensive, there is something thrilling about discovering that the simplest scraps can rise again, for free. Welcome back to Nature's Arcana, and today we journey through the remarkable world of regrowth, exploring 10 everyday kitchen scraps that can transform into thriving, edible crops, giving you harvest after harvest without spending a single extra dollar. These are humble ingredients with hidden tenacity, plants that refuse to die quietly, choosing instead to rise again with the lightest touch of water, soil, and patience. So prepare to rethink your kitchen, your windowsill, and what trash really means as we go over the top 10 crops you can grow from scraps. Number 1. Green onion stubs, the endless regrower. Imagine trimming a handful of green onions for dinner and casually tossing the white root ends aside. In most homes, that's where their story ends. But in nature's script, this small stub is more like a reset button, built for near-infinite resurrection. Green onions, also known as scallions, are engineered by nature to bounce back rapidly. Beneath that pale bulb lies a cluster of living root tissue that never truly shuts down. As long as you leave at least an inch of the white base attached, you're essentially holding a miniature plant factory. Place the stubs upright in a glass, with just enough water to cover the roots. Within 24 hours, the tops begin to push upward, thin green blades rising again as if nothing ever happened. After a few days, the hollow tubes visibly stretch taller, seeking light like determined green periscopes. Transfer them to soil, and they grow even faster, thickening into robust scallions that can be cut again and again. In many East Asian households, this regrowth cycle is so commonplace that green onions virtually become immortal kitchen residents. Remarkably, a single set of stubs can regrow 5, 6, even 10 rounds of usable greens before tiring out. And if you allow a few stalks to mature fully, they'll form delicate white blossoms capable of producing seeds, continuing the cycle far beyond a single grocery bunch. With one simple glass of water, your kitchen scraps just turned into a renewable harvest. Moving now from a plant that regenerates rapidly above ground, we now move to a vegetable that rises again from the hidden power locked inside its roots. Number 2. Celery bases, the forgotten heart with a secret pulse. Celery is a plant of remarkable persistence. When you slice off that pale circular base, you're actually cutting away the plant's living crown, where its growth hormones remain concentrated. Place that base in a shallow dish with water, and something surprising happens. In the center, tiny yellow-green leaves begin to unfurl like a miniature rose. Over the next week, the pale color deepens into a confident green. What once looked like a discarded stump transforms into a miniature bouquet of crisp new foliage. Plant it in soil, and the transformation accelerates. Thick outer stalks rebuild themselves, expanding outward like ribs around a growing spine. Over time, you'll see the celery reshape into a full, harvestable plant, often more flavorful and compact than commercial varieties. Home gardeners from Greece to California swear by scrap-grown celery as a gateway crop for beginners. It's forgiving, it's fast, and it thrives in pots or outdoor beds. And interestingly, the leaves are just as edible as the stalks, bright, herbaceous, and perfect for soups or sauces. Nothing about this regrown plant goes to waste. Moving from the crisp, watery textures of celery, we head towards something earthier, an ingredient that hides incredible potential under its papery skin. Number 3. Garlic cloves. From shriveled scrap to full bulb. You've probably seen it. A single garlic clove starting to sprout a green shoot, usually signaling that it's past its prime. But for gardeners, That sprout is an invitation. Plant a single clove, sprout facing up, and nature performs its quiet alchemy. Over months, the clove swells underground, dividing into a full new bulb with multiple fresh cloves. One forgotten scrap becomes an entire head of garlic. Garlic has been regrown this way for thousands of years, from the terraced fields of China to the Mediterranean shores, where it became a culinary cornerstone. The plant doesn't need pampering. It simply wants time and soil. The green shoots themselves are edible too. Garlic scapes with a mild, onion-like flavor that chefs prize for stir-fries and pestos. Many home growers harvest the greens early, letting the bulbs mature later for a double yield. Remarkably, if you replant a few cloves from each harvest, you can maintain a perpetual garlic line for years. A single clove can spark an entire family tradition of homegrown aromatics. From subterranean cloves, we rise again toward leafy green resilience, this time from a vegetable that seems delicate but rebounds with surprising strength. Number 4. Lettuce and romaine hearts. The revival of crisp greens. Slice off the bottom of a romaine heart, place it in a shallow dish of water, and over the next several days a quiet miracle unfolds. Tender leaves begin to spiral upward from the center. A pale yellow nub becomes a vibrant green living crown. Though a regrown lettuce head won't reach full grocery store size, the leaves it produces are tender, sweet, and perfect for salads or sandwiches. It's the closest thing to a second life that a leafy vegetable can offer. Gardeners across Canada, Thailand, and France have adopted lettuce regrowth as a year-round windowsill project. Because the plant thrives in cooler conditions, even winter kitchens can coax out new greens with minimal effort. And curiously, regrown lettuce tends to have a slightly deeper color, likely due to increased exposure to sunlight compared to the shaded fields where most commercial lettuce is grown. Scraps turn into salads, again and again. Leaving behind delicate leaves, we venture into the aromatic world of herbs, plants that refuse to quit even when tossed aside. Number 5. Basil, mint, and other herb cuttings, clippings that clone themselves. Here's where nature flexes one of its most elegant tricks, cloning. Take a leftover stem from basil, mint, oregano, or rosemary, something you'd normally throw away after stripping the leaves. Place the stem in water, and thin white roots begin to sprout from the nodes in just a few days. It's a self-replication system so efficient that gardeners have relied on it for centuries. Mint is almost too eager, sending out roots that grow like explosive spider webs. Basil is gentler but equally determined. Within a week or two, that lonely stem becomes a young plant ready for soil. This is more than regrowth, it's propagation. One grocery store bunch becomes an entire herbal forest if you choose. And because herbs diversify their flavor depending on light and stress, mint gets sharper, basil gets sweeter. The homegrown versions often taste richer than anything you can buy pre-packaged. Suddenly, your kitchen windowsill becomes a perfumed gateway to endless harvests. From soft herbs, we travel next to a surprising contender, one that feels like it shouldn't regrow at all. Number 6. Carrot tops. From scraps to herb-like greens. Contrary to expectation, regrowing carrot roots is nearly impossible. But the leafy crowns? That's where the magic lives. Cut a carrot top with about half an inch of orange still attached and place it in a shallow dish of water. Within days, fern-like greens emerge, delicate, feathery, and bright. These greens aren't just ornamental, they're edible, offering a slightly herbal flavor reminiscent of parsley. Many cultures use them in pestos, soups, or salads, though their real power is ecological. Regrown carrot tops attract beneficial insects like ladybugs and hoverflies, making them an excellent companion plant in gardens. And if planted in soil, the top may eventually produce small white flowers, contributing seeds to begin the true carrot growing cycle. A scrap becomes a pollinator ally, and eventually a seed bank. Moving from airy fronds to sturdy, starchy roots, Our next entry reveals how a single chunk can transform into a sprawling, productive plant. Number 7. Potatoes. Eyes that watch for a second life. A potato doesn't see the world the way we do, but it does watch with its eyes, those small indentations capable of birthing entire plants. When a potato begins to sprout, many people consider it spoiled. Gardeners, however, see opportunity. Cut the potato into pieces, making sure each piece has at least one viable eye. Let them dry briefly to prevent rot, then plant them. What happens next is almost storybook. Long vines emerge, diving into soil and weaving upward towards sunlight. Underground, new potatoes form like hidden treasure, clusters ranging from tiny fingerlings to large, robust tubers. In Ireland, Peru, and the Andes, potatoes' ancient homeland, this cycle remains central to agricultural life. The idea that a single scrap can multiply into dozens of new tubers feels almost magical. Leftover potatoes become a living pantry. From the earthiness of potatoes, we shift to a tropical crop that feels almost exotic, but incredibly, it too can regrow from scraps. Number 8. Pineapple tops, a crown that truly rules itself. A pineapple top might look decorative, but it hides a remarkable biological secret. The entire plant can regrow from that leafy crown. Twist off the top, remove a few lower leaves, and you'll reveal tiny root nubs. Place it in water or soil, and the crown comes alive, sending out long roots eager to anchor themselves. Pineapples grow slowly, sometimes taking up to 2 years to fruit, but the journey is worth it. The plant develops stunning sword-like leaves and a central stem that eventually lifts a new pineapple into the air. In Florida, Brazil, and Southeast Asia, people have regrown pineapples this way for generations. It's one of the most dramatic transformations a kitchen scrap can offer, turning a spiky crown into a sculptural plant that rewards patience with sweetness. And remarkably, once your regrown pineapple fruits, the plant often produces side shoots, called pups, which can be planted to continue the lineage. A scrap becomes a legacy. Now that we've tasted the tropics, let's return to a kitchen staple with one of the most powerful regeneration systems of any vegetable. Number 9, ginger, a root that remembers its path. Ginger isn't truly a root, it's a rhizome, a living underground stem designed to spread horizontally. That makes every knob of ginger a potential new plant. Break off a piece that has 1 or 2 eyes, much like a potato, and plant it horizontally under a few inches of soil. Over weeks, a sturdy green shoot rises, accompanied by broad leaves that catch light like sails. Below the surface, the rhizome expands, swelling into a network of new ginger pieces you can harvest indefinitely. In India, Jamaica, and across Southeast Asia, ginger is grown this way in home gardens, where its aroma and warm bite are everyday staples. Regrowing ginger from scraps is not just easy, it feels like tapping into an ancient agricultural rhythm. And interestingly, homegrown ginger is often more tender and less fibrous than commercial varieties. Scraps become spice, medicine, and fragrance all at once. And now we arrive at our final entry, a plant that delivers the biggest return for almost no effort at all. Number 10. Sweet potatoes, vines of abundance. From a single slice, sweet potatoes regenerate in a way so vigorous that many growers consider them nearly unstoppable. Cut a sweet potato into sections, or simply suspend half of it in water with toothpicks. Within days, slips, long, vining shoots, emerge from the surface. Each slip, once removed and rooted, becomes a full plant capable of producing an entire harvest of new sweet potatoes. In places like Nigeria, Japan, and the southern United States, sweet potatoes are grown both for their edible roots and their nutritious greens. The leaves are tender, spinach-like, and rich in vitamins, something many people never realize they can eat. Plant your slips outdoors, and the vines surge across the soil like a slow emerald tide. Later in the season, beneath those sprawling leaves, clusters of sweet potatoes wait quietly to be unearthed. A single scrap becomes a sprawling dual-purpose harvest. And with that, we close our journey through 10 extraordinary crops that rise from the simplest remnants of everyday meals. When you think about it, there's something deeply hopeful about regrowing food from scraps. It reminds us that nature rarely wastes anything, that life is constantly trying to regenerate, renew, and reach toward the sun, even from the smallest discarded fragments. From scallions that never stop producing to pineapples that rebuild their kingdoms from a single crown. These living remnants aren't just kitchen experiments. They are small acts of self-sufficiency, windows into resilience, and quiet daily reminders of the regenerative intelligence woven into the natural world. So now we turn the question to you. Which of these scrap-grown crops surprised you the most? And more importantly, which one will you try growing first? If you enjoyed this journey, be sure to like the video, subscribe, and tell us in the comments what other regenerative wonders you'd like us to explore next. Together, we'll keep unraveling the mysteries and marvels hidden across this living planet. Until next time, this is Nature's Arcana, where every scrap carries the potential for a new beginning.